biggest thing. I don't know if you're big on TikTok or like Instagram or like Twitter. Bunch
I
of
have an
sad.
Instagram.
Oh yeah, you don't really hop on. I think I've seen it before.
Yeah, I'm not big on social media. I have no TikTok, I have no Snapchat. I've got a Facebook. I have an Instagram, but I think the last time I posted to it was probably over a year ago.
Yeah, you're not even in the Austin, Texas car meets, like the big Austin
Oh no,
page.
I fucking left that group. That shit was toxic.
Why is that? Why is that?
Oh my God. So, and this has everything to do with Corona. Before Corona, it wasn't bad. So the Austin, Texas car meets got super toxic
Mm-hmm.
due to the fact that we just had a flood of people who had no real interest in the car scene before. I mean, some of them had modified cars, but they weren't into the car scene.
Yeah, yeah, like not
And
going to car meets and stuff.
exactly. And then all the bars shut down. So these guys who were normally going to the bars, picking up chicks, getting shit housed with their buddies and whatnot every weekend, they couldn't do that anymore and they needed an outlet. And a lot of those guys are questionable demeanors. And so they started going to the big car meets, like the Wells Branch one that used to be a
Oh,
thing,
and that
and
one
then
got
the
shut
AMC
down.
thing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I
Because
remember
these
that.
guys came in, they would get shit housed at the car meet, like that's a good idea,
Yeah.
and then cause a ton of trouble, shooting guns off, getting into fights and stuff,
That
just
happened at Wells
being
Branch
burnouts
meets
and shit.
too?
Well, Wells Branch it started in Wells Branch before the Corona thing happened. That one got shut
Mm-hmm.
down,
I remember
and
that.
then everything was nice and quiet for a
The whole
while, or for the
sting,
most part. Yeah,
that was
yeah, yeah.
rough.
Well, it's because they're immediately going out and do burnouts on the main street and then slamming into a curb and hitting other cars and shit. So yeah, it got cracked down because
Yeah.
those people aren't enthusiasts; they're just assholes with a car.
Yeah, they're just dicking around.
Um,
I mean, we
yeah,
all started
exactly.
there, kind of. I would say I started there, sort of. I had a Civic. I'd try and do burnouts and stuff. It was like an
Oh God, Squid
EM2.
Boy.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
I
yeah,
chopped the muffler off.
being a dumb high school kid is
Yeah.
totally different than being a full-grown adult with like a $40,000 vehicle and doing dumb shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I
I
was a
was
truck guy.
literally standing on the sidewalk when that dude did there's a video on YouTube somewhere, I don't remember now. I was standing on the sidewalk watching that dude in the Mustang burn out and then slam into the fucking wall, the wall for Mopac. He slammed into that shit. I was right there. I watched the whole damn thing happen. And that was it. When I saw that, I was like, I'm done. I'm not fucking with
Really?
this
And,
shit
and then you
anymore.
just left the
I
group?
stopped. Yeah, oh no, I didn't link the group then, but I didn't no longer go to any of those big public meets. They were just slowly declining and it was getting worse and worse every time. I was worried about my car getting hit and shit like that. And I was like, this isn't enthusiasts. This is just dumbasses with vehicles. I
What'd
want
you
no
have
part
at
of
the
this.
time? What'd you have at the time?
I had my FRS at the time still. Yeah.
Oh. Oh, some Hot Boy stuff when the FRS just came out.
Well, no, I didn't buy an FRS when it first came out.
But it was still kind of hot, right? Like, not everyone had an FRS, and you see one, it's like, oh man, that's like
I
something
was
different.
I was one of three that was regularly showing up to like the meets and stuff, but quickly after that, they start springing up everywhere. Like they, when the FRS came out, it kind of came out with little fanfare, and so a lot of
Mm,
people weren't even aware that was a car until people started buying them and showing up to meets, and then now everybody's got one. And
mm.
there's nothing wrong with that. Like that's a sign that the car is
Yeah, it's
toward the
like the
enthusiast market.
best-selling sports car right now, or the best-selling
Is
sports
it?
car of. I think best-selling sports car of like 2017 to 2020 or something like that. It was
I
it
mean,
made
it's relatively cheap, so that
yeah,
it kind of makes sense.
four
Uh,
banger, rear-wheel drive, boxer engine, all good stuff.
Not gonna say that on the Boxer engine, but everything else about it's okay. I don't like Boxers.
Yeah,
As a platform, they're great if you keep them stock or if you do minor modifications. The Boxer's great; they'll last forever.
yeah.
As soon as you start doing anything to increase the power, like Boxers become horribly unstable, and that's why you never see a Boxer motor making 700 horsepower to drag strip because it ain't gonna last long.
Oh,
Yeah.
but that's actually something I wanted to talk about. So these Subaru guys I was talking to, they're like Subaru engineers and stuff, and
Yep.
one of them was an engineer, one of them was a technician. And they were telling me like, yo, yeah, like Subarus, they're unreliable, right? Like the Boxer engine as a whole is like pretty unreliable, especially if you like try and push more boost through it, do more like
Yeah.
bolt-ons and stuff. But you can buy a brand new block from Subaru for like 2 grand, which isn't a lot in my opinion for a brand new block. You slap all the heads, like I'm not too familiar with the Boxer, but it's a short block. You slap everything together,
Yeah.
and it's like a brand new engine, basically.
See, when I had the FRS, I was
Mm.
getting desperate for more power, and I was trying to do it. At this point, I had all the bolt-ons, like I mentioned earlier. I had all the bolt-ons, the 85 tune, the whole nine. Only thing I hadn't done was forced induction because the people that I would trust that I talked to about it said, you might not want to do that. These motors aren't stable under a lot of boost.
Uh-huh.
Um, and so I was just desperate and looking for shit, and I got the redneck hair in me just went, all right, let's do nitrous.
Oh yeah, how'd that
Yeah,
go?
poorly.
No
It was
way.
great the first two times. It was great the first two times I
Yeah.
sprayed. It was a lot faster and it was a lot of fun. The third time I started misfiring at the end of it badly, barely limped the car back home. And
Jesus.
that's when I learned that nitrous oxide, when sprayed
Mm-hmm.
into a motor that's not really designed to handle that, which is most,
Most, yeah, all
they
of them.
turn things, yeah, they turn shit that's not fuel into fuel, like your spark plugs.
Oh my God.
So
Just
I
the
ate
little
up all four of my
ceramics.
spark plugs. Yeah, I ate all four of them up and almost blew the motor. They thought it was a blown motor originally, and they quoted me like 7 grand for a new
7 grand.
block. Yeah, and
A
that's
long
that's
block or a short block? Probably like the whole
I
engine, no?
want to say the short block. I may be
Uh,
wrong on that. That happened 4 or 5 years ago now.
oh, it was
Been a
probably
while.
also not as like popular as at the time.
Oh no, that was reaching the peak of the popularity.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, when they told me that originally, I already started calling like junkyards to see if I could find one that had a motor intact that I could just yank.
Mm-hmm.
But I talked to my brother about it, and he was like, "Okay, tell me what happened exactly." So I walked him step by step, no bullshit with him, and he went, "Okay, tell them to take an oscilloscope and go into the cylinders and check for damage." And he's like, "And have them run a compression test. It'll cost you a little bit more, but you'll know for sure, and it
Mm-hmm.
may save you 7 grand." So I called back the dealership. I was like, "Hey, I want y'all to do this," and so they did, and they
Subaru.
looked in. Yeah, or
Okay.
no, it was Toyota
Oh, Toyota. Okay.
because FRS, not BRZ,
Before
which is
Scion.
fucking dumb. It says Subaru on the fucking motor. It should go to Subaru.
It should, yeah. I agree.
uh,
Subaru makes all the Boxer engines. Toyota
yeah,
doesn't even make
so
rear-wheel drive cars at the moment. Or
yeah, I called Subaru originally, going, "Hey, I got an FRS. I need y'all to look at that. Like, it's an FRS. We don't mess with that." I was like, "It's a Subaru motor. You have BRZ. It's the same motor." They're like,
mm-hmm.
"Yeah, but you need to go through Toyota." So I did. And but yeah, so they ran an oscilloscope through. They did a compression test. Everything checks out. They found the tiniest of nicks in the top of, I think, piston three, but it already filled and compacted with carbon, so it was fine.
Yeah.
Compression didn't read off. It was perfectly within parameters. And so I
Yeah.
was like, "All right, cool." They're like, "Well, do you want to just replace the spark plugs?" I was like, "Yep, put new spark plugs in, throw it all back together, give me the bill." And it was like $750 for all
Oh, that's
that.
not bad.
And considering it was 7 grand originally, I'll
Yeah.
take it.
Yeah.
And so I got it back. And at that point, I was like, "I don't want this fucking thing anymore. I can't do what I want to do to it. Like, it's just not going to hold up. And I'm going to end up spending money over, like, hand over fist trying to make this thing faster. I'm just tired of dealing with it." So I sold it. And
Mm.
I got 12 grand for it, which was a pretty good amount. And I turned around and ordered the car I have got now, which is that 91 Sylvia you shot the video
Yeah, yeah,
of.
the right-hand drive one straight
Hmm.
from Japan. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, I had that ordered and brought in. I was like, there's only one way to do this.
Yeah, it was like
One,
15 grand,
buy
right?
a car that's supposed to have a turbo. SR20 is a great platform for it. I mean,
Mm.
there's issues with everyone, every single motor out there, but SR, as far as turbo motors and modifications go, they're pretty reliable.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Yeah, I'll buy that and I'll fucking soup that bitch up and turn it into a damn drift missile."
A lot of support around the SR20 also.
Oh yeah, tons, and it's cheap. It's a third of the cost of any of the parts that I bought for the FRS.
Really? It is also an older engine too. So does
I
that have to
mean,
play into it at all?
maybe. I would. I'd have to do a lot of research into other cars that have older counterparts and kind of see what the prices look like.
Yeah.
My guess is that because it's an SR20, it was never produced in the States, and it's an old motor, I would think that it would be more expensive, but surprisingly, it's pretty cheap. Apparently, people have been bringing those motors over, just the motors, and swapping them into everything else for fucking ever. And so there's a huge aftermarket community for it.
But why SR20? Like SR20, the RB, what is it? RB25s, RB30s, those are all popular too. And
Well, I wanted a
2Js.
Skyline.
Yeah, but like, why not
Uh,
just slap a LS in there? Everyone, American made, cheap, good
Everybody
power.
does. That's the number one common swap is an LS
Yeah.
swap into the 240. That's the most common swap.
Yeah.
Next, I would say it's almost even between the 2J and the LS, but I'm pretty sure the LS wins just because people who do a swap on a 240 are usually going to drift the damn thing.
Yeah.
And an LS is just better for drifting in general. The 2J's got turbo lag and everything you have to compensate for. The LS is put foot down, wheel spins.
Yeah.
Enough said. And
Lots of
spraying bald
torque.
eagles and stripper glitter,
Yeah,
but
it sounds
it
good.
works.
It sounds great. The LSs are
Yeah.
this sounds so good. And they're very modifiable because like you can slap what is it? I think I'm not too familiar with the LSs, but like LS3 heads plus like an LS1 block equals something like an LS6 in terms of like liters.
I haven't done enough researching to
Right?
know about
Yeah.
it, and I've never been super big into blocks. I did say, and still to this point that eventually that SR20 is going to go, and when it does, and I blow the SR20, I know that's going to be a thing I have to deal with at some point.
Yeah, what are you gonna
When
put?
it does, I toyed around with the 2J for doing a 2J, but when I started looking at prices of what it would cost to do like the swaps and everything, the LS is just better. I can go find an LS in a I can order an LS for like 3,500 as opposed to a 2J, which would cost me way more.
Just yank a 2J out
And
of what is it? The GS300s? Tons of them at the junkyard. Yeah, no, they got junkyard
yeah,
GS300s.
but then you got to also take into account all the work you're going to do to the motor. I have to do a lot more work to the 2J to get it to where I want it to be as opposed to the LS, which is almost ready to go out of the crate.
True,
And so
true.
you're going to pay a lot more for the 2J. And then if I'm drifting the damn thing, I'm going to be breaking shit on it on a regular basis. Like, I don't want to spend money hand over fist again just to keep the damn thing rolling. I don't want to have to buy
Yeah.
turbos constantly if I can just like drop a cam and a tune on the fucking the LS and hey, 550 horsepower, let's get it sideways
Yeah. Yeah. 550 is a lot just to like I
in
the
a 2,600 pound car.
oh, I forget. Yeah. Are you gonna cage it eventually? Cuz I
I
feel like
have
you're gonna
to.
have
If I'm gonna
yeah.
do like drift events, you have to cage it. So
Yeah.
that's in the works too. It's really expensive. And so I've been a lot more focused on building up my career and getting more shit under my belt so that I can make a lot more money. Cause if I'm making like 85, 90K a year, that's money for a cage in like 2 months.
Yeah. Or pick up a TIG welder, learn how to TIG. Well, I guess it has to be up to
I know how
specs,
to
right?
weld.
Yeah. But I
Problem
think
is I suck at measuring.
oh, I mean it's
Okay.
welding,
If you mark
metal.
it, no, if somebody goes through and they mark it, I can do it no problem.
Yeah.
Like I know how to weld. I took that in high school just cause, and I turned out to be pretty good at it.
Cutting the
But
perfect
the whole
fish
like,
mouths are hard.
yeah, like building the idea and the plans and cutting everything and measuring. I,
That's hard. Yeah, that's hard stuff.
I'm not. There's a reason I'm not a carpenter.
Yeah. I just fill in my welds with I mean fill in the gaps with, a little sheet metal and a little more weld. Looks
Yeah,
fine.
no, I'm not doing
It's just
that.
yeah, I built my brake adapters. I haven't died yet.
Yet being the operative
Yet.
word.
I mean, I'm using 3/8 mild steel and then like I chamfered the edges, welded like went over a few times, I think two or three passes on each side. It's fine. I just beat on it. 4-pot fronts, 2-pot
Oh,
rears for like I think $700.
if I had if I had a dollar bill for every time I said it's fine and then it wasn't fine, I'd be rich.
Oh my god. That actually happened. That's funny you bring it up. Cause like I daily my car to work, right? It's a
Mhm,
350Z with the LS460 brake calipers on it.
mhm.
And one day I just hear like in the front right. I'm like, it's fine. And I, I I gotta drive 60 miles each way, right? So like
Oh
all
fuck.
highway, so like high speed, and I just hear going out of my neighborhood even on the highway is just like loud in my ear, just like starting to get annoying. So I just put in earplugs. Just yeah, no, I seriously did. I was like, it'll go away, maybe, because like the clearance between the Akibono rotors, and the LS460 calipers was like maybe 2 or 3 millimeters on each side. So the clearances were not ideal, but I mean it worked. And then eventually, ends up AutoZone wheel bearings, not good. So like my rotor's rotating inside of the caliper and just
Oh,
eating away my caliper. I'm like, oh fuck. So now, I mean, now it's clearanced a little bit more.
now you have to. It's been rubbing for months.
Exactly. Yeah, I probably did 500 miles before like the powder coat. So
Oh,
powder coat, you have to bake it in at 400 degrees. That started bubbling off, so I'm like, that doesn't look very good anymore. So,
you know the meme of the Vin Diesel is like when he hears something wrong with the car, and he's like leaning out of the window. That's me every time I hear something with the
oh,
Sylvia.
it.
Every time.
What goes wrong with the Sylvia? It seems like a reliable car.
Um, so when I first got it, there was a lot of things that were already kind of out the door on it. Alternator for one, like killed two batteries because it just wouldn't charge them properly. So I had to
Huh.
replace the alternator, and that turned into a whole fucking deal. Uh, and then we did the. So when I got it, I already had squeaking in the front wheels from the wheel bearings.
Oh
And
wow.
so I had to pull those out, do new wheel bearings, which made a problem in the rear 10 times worse.
Were
And
those press
so
in wheel bearings or bolt on wheel bearings?
you can do the pressed in, but I bought the kit that had them already assembled, so I just had them bolted
Oh,
on.
that's not as bad. Yeah.
No, it was I wasn't gonna do the pressing shit. Like one, I don't have the equipment for that.
You
Like
gotta
I'm not trying
bang
to
it
do all
out.
that. Yeah, yeah, I wasn't doing that. So no, I'll just bang on the back and knock it off
Yeah,
altogether,
exactly.
and then
That's
just
that's definitely the
cap
best
a new
way.
one on. Yeah, it's way better. So once that became a problem, I managed to get it home, but it was bad. Like there was vibrations, everything. Like it was terrible. So I was like, all right, well, the new 5 lug conversion comes with new wheel bearings
Hmm.
and the new hub and everything. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just order the conversion, do it, and that'll solve the problem. And that's what I did. And it ended up working that way to like surprising me, especially like I fully expected just more shit to be broken because every time I fix something in that car, three other things went wrong. And now I've got it to a point where like for the most part stable. I drive it on a
Pretty
regular
reliable.
basis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been driving around on a regular basis. I got it tuned and everything. The air fuel ratio gauge that I have though stopped reading.
Oh, that's scary.
So yeah, okay. So I went to a car meet down south, and on the way
Uh,
back, it was reading super high.
was it the Cabela's meet where everyone's
No, no,
going?
no. I
Oh,
didn't go to Cabela. I don't go to Cabela's. It
okay.
was it was a the what do they call themselves? Uncultured.
Oh yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
those guys. So a
Adam
bunch of younger dudes,
Woodburn.
but
Yeah,
yeah, they're all younger dudes, but they're super chill.
yeah, yeah. They're
Their
nice
car meets
guys.
usually go off without a hitch. We never have any real problems. I mean, dumb kid shit, but it's never anything you can't deal with.
Yeah,
And so I don't mind going to those, and they've been growing, and they're fun to go to. And I know a lot of the kids that go, and they're all, for the most part, they're decent kids. Goofy, some
yeah.
of them are questionably intelligent, but
Yes,
they're
yes.
good.
I met them too. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, they're a cool bunch. So I have no problems
they're
hanging out
yeah,
with
they're
them.
nice guys. Yeah, and they're
Yeah,
I think they're kind of like down to earth, which I think is nicer than like some of the
yeah,
meets I've been to.
they're just still really young, and so they do and say goofy shit occasionally, and you're just like,
Yeah,
mm-mm. But it's always completely manageable.
yeah.
But yeah, so I was coming back from one of those, and my air fuel ratio just went and hit high side like 18. I was like,
Oh,
that's way too high. I'm running super lean.
did it sound like
And so,
18?
no, that's the thing. The car didn't change the way it was running. It was running
Hmm.
perfectly fine. So I drove it for a little bit and it just stayed at 18. I was like, okay, that could be a real problem. So I pulled the car over on Mopac and then shut it off. I started it back up and it was reading 14 again, or to 12 to 14 where it's supposed to be. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, that's fine. I took off driving, and as I was driving, it steadily climb again. And this time it was
Huh.
going higher, and then it was blinking out. And I was like, the car's not changing the way it's running. So it's obviously not the motor or the ECU. Like it's getting the proper air and fuel ratio. Like the car is fine.
Yeah, it
There's
didn't
no,
smell like
yeah,
leaning
no,
out.
no smell, no nothing. Like it's to this day, it still runs perfectly fine. I fire it up and it runs no problem. So I was like, okay, so it's not, it's the air fuel ratio is fine. It's the gauge is the problem. And now
Yeah.
whenever I start the car, it's just blanked out automatically like it's not connected. So there's definitely a connection issue there. I hate doing electric work. I fucking hate doing electric work. But now I gotta go and dig and find that and figure out why the gauge isn't reading. And I'm
Isn't
pretty
it
sure
just like an
there's
O2
loose.
bong? That's
Well, so the way we had to do it, because I replaced the ECU and it's got a
yeah.
Hall Tech in it. And so if I remember correctly, I need to talk to my tuner because he was the one that kind of helped me set all that up. Um,
Who do you tune with?
Uh, Ethan at Trackstar Motorworks in Dallas.
Oh shit,
He's
you
the guy
drive
that does
all
all
the
the.
way to Dallas?
Yeah, that's why I bought a big ass diesel so I could tow the car up there and
Oh,
back.
fair, fair.
um, but yeah, no, he's the best. He does all the tunes for a lot of the Lone Star Drift guys. He knows his shit.
Oh, okay.
I can't like to anybody that will watch this or is watching. If you need your car tuned and you have like any form of an import, and I think he does American stuff too. But if you need your car tuned properly, go to Ethan at Trackstar Motorworks. That guy is fucking brilliant, and he's super easy to work with and relatively inexpensive. So there's your plug, Ethan.
What does he work on though?
Everything. I saw like Civics. He worked on my SR20. I saw old school muscle cars. Like he works on everything. The dude just has a gift for understanding how a car needs to breathe and receive fuel and how
Yeah.
all that needs to be balanced for each motor. And he'll do a little bit of research beforehand to figure out what the like specific parameters for that motor are. And then he just knocks it out. Like, and it's a street and dyno tune. He charged me 550 to do it.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, it's super reasonable. I mean, minus the whole driving there and back. That part sucks. But
Yeah, Dallas sucks in general, I feel like. Just the roads kind of bumpy in my opinion.
luckily he's on the, if I remember correctly, it's been over a year since I've been up there. He's on the Fort Worth side.
Oh, okay.
So the way in is relatively straight shot, and then
Yeah.
you turn onto a road and you follow the road a little bit, then you get off this one, and then boom, there he is. Like it going through Dallas isn't a problem. It's just
Yeah.
that long ass drive back and forth is a pain
Three
in the dick.
hours from what is it? No, no, it's like 3.5 hours from Austin or something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, three and a half roughly. And because we have limited space, there's three of us that live here. I don't keep the diesel here. That stays at my brother's ranch.
Oh
And
shit.
so, yeah, and I have to borrow a trailer from somebody. So I have to go get the diesel, go get the trailer, load the car up into the trailer, then head out. And then when I get up there, I got to get it off the trailer. If I have to leave it there, then I drive an empty trailer all the way back. And then I have to repeat that whole process. However, like a week or two later, I have to repeat it all over again, then go back up there and pick up the car, come back down, bring the car here, drop the car off, take the trailer, drop the trailer off, then drive the truck back to my brother's. And then if I left a car there or if he picked me up or whatever, then we got to come back here again.
That's like I'm thinking about it right now, how many trips that is. That's like
It's a
five hundred
lot.
dollars in diesel.
It's
So
it's not that high.
not that high?
No,
Maybe now.
surprisingly, that I got it. It's an F350 turbo dually, 6.0 Ford.
It's huge,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, it's
Massive.
massive. I love driving it, to be honest. Like it's kind of fun, like just big
Yeah,
ass
is it
truck.
lifted? Is it lifted or
No,
anything?
it's not lifted. No,
Wow,
it's not
okay.
lifted.
Wow.
I'm not going to do anything to the truck. The sole purpose of me owning that truck is to tow the car. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I own it. I don't drive it otherwise. And right now the upper and lower ball joints in the front, because it's an older truck, it's like an '05, I think.
Oh, okay.
They're worn. They need to be replaced. My brother's working on that. We also need to replace the batteries, and it needs a tune up. But it's not high on my priorities list right now
Yeah.
because I don't need to take the car anywhere at this point yet.
Yeah, and is it your daily? What are you daily? Because I think
I,
you mentioned you had a Toyota something, no?
I have a Toyota Corolla for a daily,
That's
2017 Toyota
right.
Corolla.
Though the
It,
2017s are actually not ugly. They're not ugly in
no,
my
it's
opinion.
it's it's not ugly, and if I'm being completely fair, it's a nice car. It's a great
Yeah.
economical car. I couldn't really ask for much better for a daily back and forth to work because I work down at the Domain, but I live out in Georgetown.
Yeah.
That's 35 miles one way.
They're nice. I did a
So
driving test,
it's
or I
comfortable.
learned how to drive in them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's comfortable and it works. But if I'm gonna be honest to myself, it's fucking boring.
You're not pulling any hose in that, clearly.
No, God, no, nobody even notices me. The cops, I blow past them doing 20 over. The cop doesn't
Oh,
notice me.
that's right. Yeah. Now that I think about it, I don't even notice like if a Corolla just flies past me. That's
Nobody pays
that's so
attention to
fun.
the car, and it's a black one on top of it, so it just blends into
Oh,
everything else. You
yeah.
don't see it. Like in that, and there's an aspect of that being pretty nice. So when I'm flying on
Yeah.
the way to work doing 90 down 35, I blow past a cop. I don't even bother slowing down. They didn't see me.
You're not gonna like slam it or anything.
No, no.
Bags.
I'm gonna get rid of it because
Ah.
I want the new 300. I want the new Nissan Z.
Yes, the 400. Well, you think it's going to be called the 400Z? I don't know if they're going to be calling
I'm
that.
not sure. They even on their website they still say it's the new Z. So I don't know what they're going to call it. I was banking on the fact they'd call it a 400Z because it made sense.
Yeah.
And I still call it the 400Z because it makes sense.
Is it? It's
Uh,
not. Wait, actually, kind of doesn't make sense because it's like the 350Z because 3.5 liter, 370Z because it's 3.7 liter. 400Z would mean it'd have to be a 4 liter, which is like in between three V6 and V8, which they're not doing
Yeah,
it.
I mean, I guess that's probably the reason they're not doing it.
Yeah.
I think the one what they're calling it now is a Z Proto, and I don't know. I
Oh.
doubt that's gonna stick,
You like
but
the looks?
I love it.
You love the looks. The neo retro, I
Beautiful.
think, is what I would call
Oh
it.
yeah, just
Yeah.
that ass on that car, just mwah.
Hold
Oh,
on. Let
perfect.
me take a look at this ass.
Yeah. No, it's fantastic looking. I love the way it looks. The specs on it that have been released this far. Oh
It's like
yeah,
what, 3 liter twin turbos, same as the
three. It's
Q50 or
supposed.
Q60.
Is it the Q? I think it's the Q60. Is it a 3 liter or a 3.5?
Uh, from what I looked up.
I think it's a 3.5. Let me see.
Yeah.
I got
So
that thing pulled up.
what I'm reading right now is off of Motor Trend is a twin turbo 3 liter V6. Um,
Okay, so it is just a three then. All right.
yeah,
I
400.
couldn't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, so it's 400 horsepower,
Oh,
twin
400
turbo, rear wheel
horsepower.
drive with a 6 speed transmission for 35K is what they're saying starting out.
You think it's gonna they said that
There's
about the
going to be a dealer
Supra.
markup to hell. You know it's going to be a dealer markup to hell, but I'll pay it.
Will you? Will you? So
Oh
like
yeah,
50
I want
grand
dude.
maybe.
The car is sexy. It's a Nissan. It's turboed. It's making a lot of power out of the gate. And it's gonna have nice new features. Oh, what's
That's
not to
true.
love? Like
Do you think it will
Nissan's
have
still one of
new?
the few man.
You think it'll have
New what?
new features and stuff? I don't know.
They said that it's gonna have the new technology packages in it. So, I mean, this isn't gonna be a car I'm gonna like. I'm not racing this car. I'm not gonna buy
Yeah,
it to race it. This will
yeah,
be my daily.
yeah. Like a
I mean, I'm gonna do some
sexy
stuff
daily.
like
Yeah,
maybe, yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna put on a little bit of some skirts and shit on it, put
a
some
little
nice wheels
lower
on
it.
it, maybe a little bit of a lower, depending on how it sits natively. Like it already looks like it sits pretty aggressively. So
Yeah, maybe just a
I
kit
may
then.
need to. But yeah, I just want like the surrounding kit, the exhaust, the cold air, or not cold air, but like a short ram intake or an aftermarket intake so it breathes a little nicer, full
Yeah,
flow exhaust, the whole nine, shit like that. Like I'm not gonna go crazy. I'm not trying to generate a ton of horsepower. I'm not gonna go race or drift this thing. But
yeah.
I want it because it'll be a clean as fuck daily. I can still go to car meets with it and people will just drooling all over it.
Probably in 20 years it'll be up in value again too. Cause
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah. As
yeah,
long as I hang on to it, yeah, and I take care of it. So yeah,
yeah.
but they come out. I'm getting one. See a Corolla. Like it's been fun. You saved
You're
me a ton of
trading it
money. I
in?
appreciate it. Hell yeah, I'm getting rid of the
Okay.
Corolla.
Cause
The new Z is gonna be my daily. That's gonna be my shit.
would you get more for trade in or selling it to a private party and then using that money towards the 400Z?
If I could sell it to a private party, you will always, almost always
Get
make
like
more
more,
selling to a
yeah.
private party. Almost always. So if I can, great. The problem is if you owe money on a vehicle that you're trying to sell private party, that gets really tricky. Um,
Yeah. Like you
like
show
when
up
I
to the
sold the FRS,
dealership.
it was paid off. I didn't know anything on it anymore, so I just took the check for 12K and took off. Yep, here's your
Ah,
car, and title. It's all yours, man. Have fun.
yeah. Man.
I won't. It won't be that easy with the Corolla, so it'll be a little trickier. But I've got plans on paying it down
Hmm.
quite a bit. I'm doing a side project that's going to generate me a decent amount of income, and I'm going to refinance it, pay that down the next month or two,
Yeah, I
and
see the 4K
once that
camera.
comes, do what?
No, I see the 4K camera.
The 4K camera.
Yeah, in case you end up streaming a whole bunch, making that the extra guap.
uh,
But you're gonna pay down the
Wish.
Corolla and stuff, and then trade it
I'd love to
in.
think. I'd love to think I'm that interesting. I'm just not.
You're it's pretty interesting. Let me see.
No, when I'm playing video games, like I'm super focused on trying to win. Like I don't like losing.
Yeah,
I want to win, and so I'm not super talkative because I'm very narrowly focused on trying to get that W.
yeah, yeah. What do you play though?
Uh, right now a little bit of everything. I do play a lot of Call of Duty. Uh, Unfortunately, there's just not a lot else going on at the
Unfortunately,
moment. Yeah, I'm super big into shooters,
yeah.
and Call of Duty's really been scratching that itch. So I play a lot of Cold War, and I play a lot of Modern Warfare. I've started getting away from Warzone because it's just
Oh,
oh
a lot of hacks.
tired
I
of it.
hear. I hear a lot of
Yeah,
hackers.
it's bad. It's really bad. And before SBB was it S SBMM skill based matchmaking before that site went down, I would check my profile and I was in diamond all the way through, and like every lobby I was in was diamond one lobbies, so I was getting matched against the highest tiered players,
Yeah.
and so I was sweating my nuts off in every game just trying to survive, and then to get picked off by some dude across the map with a Mac 10 is like
Oh, is
I'm
that how it is?
done. It happened.
I
It's
have yet
happened
to
more
see
than
that
once.
though. Oh, for
Oh
me,
yeah,
because I'm
no.
low. It just
I
started.
I got killed by a sniper, and at first I thought it was a legit. He just caught me with my pants down. I got shot in the head. We're
Yeah.
done and over with. And then I was watching him because fuck else to do. So I was watching him, and like this dude was like looking up in the air, not at anybody, just looking up in the air, shooting and getting a headshot. And I was like,
Oh.
"What the fuck is this shit?" And
Yeah.
that when I saw that, that's when I was like, I'm done. Warzone, I'm fucking done. I'm tired of playing this. I'm tired of sweating my nuts off for nothing, only to get destroyed in the last 3 minutes by some dude cheating like this. Like this Activision, what the fuck are you guys doing?
I don't
I'm
think they have
done.
plans on fixing it either yet.
Yeah,
Or
so I
maybe
just
they
play
have
the
plans,
multiplayer
but
and
it's
unlock the guns.
oh.
Okay, it's fun. I run around just kill people.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I play a lot of that. I play Rocket League. I recently started playing Dark Souls 3 again. I saw a mod called the Convergence mod. Uh, a YouTuber I watched, Chase the Bro, was doing like series of episodes, and he was like playing through the Convergence mod, testing all the new shit they added, and it
Hmm.
looked phenomenal. So I started playing it, and truth be told, insanely difficult. Coming from a Dark Souls 3 veteran, where like I could run through the base game no issue,
Yeah.
I was getting shit on in the Convergence mod. It was difficult,
You play that
and
on veteran or like the highest difficulty, huh?
there's no difficulty in
Is
Dark
there not a
Souls.
difficulty?
There's no difficulty in Dark Souls.
Oh shit. Okay.
Everything can kill you.
Shows how much I know about Dark Souls.
Yeah, no, I'm a veteran of the series. I've been playing since the original Dark Souls. I never played Demon Souls. I didn't have a PlayStation when that came out, nor did I know about it. But I started playing Dark Souls when the Prepare to Die edition came out for PC. I started playing that, and then I played all through Dark Souls 2. I played Bloodborne because I had a PS4 at the time, and so I played all the way through Bloodborne. I played Dark Souls 3 religiously. I fucking love that game. I've got hundreds of hours into it. And then I tried Sekiro, but Sekiro just lumps you into parry, 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 swing, parry, parry, parry. It takes away all the
Oh,
fun that you got out of Dark Souls by making a build to do something unique. You can't do that in Sekiro, and it's just not fun.
I haven't played. I played a little bit of Dark Souls, and I've never played Sekiro. But like Dark Souls seems like a very fun game. Like for the I don't
If
know
you get into
20
it,
minutes I played.
if you could get past the initial skill barrier, which admittedly is very high and unfriendly, but if you could get past that, that game has so much to offer. Even the PvP is a lot of fun once you get the hang of playing.
Give me
But
one sec. I think there's
it's
someone
not
at
for
the
the weak.
door that I might need
Yeah,
to take
no
care
worries. Take your
of.
time.
Sorry about that. Hey babe, you said someone was at the door?
I guess we'll take this moment to advertise for free on his stream. I don't know what to advertise though, so I'm just gonna chill. So, in avoiding a bunch of dead air, everybody should love the Z. Even if you don't like the way it looks, you love the Z. The Z's the shit. Just get one. Get one. That's your PSA for me today.
I'm peeing right now. I'll be right there.
I wonder what's going on there. And so, for the one person that joined the chat right now, he had somebody at his door, so he's running off to take care of that. We're just kind of chilling, waiting on that to come back. Kind of don't know what to do by myself here because I'm not playing a video game.
All right, I'm back.
Alrighty.
Did I miss anything?
No, I was doing my best to entertain with that air, but if I'm not playing a game, I have nothing to show.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh shoot, we should let's see. So we're going over your channel a little bit. Oh yeah, so I guess we're also the 400Z. I feel like I feel like there's a lot that competes with the 400Z in terms of like price point, looks, power. No,
Really though, is there?
328i. It's about the
Oh,
same,
how
isn't
much
it?
is a 328i brand new?
I'm gonna look it up right now.
I promise you that thing's at least 50K. And that's like bare bones base package if they have those for BMW. I have no idea.
Sheesh.
Um,
Okay, yeah, you're right. Okay, 50
uh,
grand. 50 grand.
Supra for the competitor in the same horsepower
60
range,
grand maybe.
60,
Yeah.
60. Yep.
Though
Uh, let's see what
Q60,
else.
that's a luxury
Q60 is
car.
like, yeah, the Q60
Yeah.
is luxury for one, but that's 55 or 60, I think, brand new.
Yeah.
Um,
Buy
you got
used
the
370Z and
you
slap
got
a
a
twin
5.0
turbo kit.
Mustang's like 45. The Camaro SS is around the same at like 45 to 50.
I
The
would say the
Challenger
EcoBoost.
SRT8s are like, the EcoBoost doesn't compare.
It's
What? They
like
make like
300 horse.
280 horse.
Is it not
They
too?
make, yeah,
It's
280
quite a
horsepower
bit.
or something
That's
like
a
that.
lot. And then you
Yeah, and a
slap a
car
big
that
turbo
weighs,
on it.
was it almost 4K? That
Oh
car
yeah,
weighs
you're
a
right.
ton.
Yeah. I forget it is a muscle car. I
Must be.
forget.
All right.
Bless you.
Yeah. So like, yeah. So you got to take into account like in terms of performance versus the
Yeah,
price.
that's
There's no
true.
other car in its bracket currently. The closest you can get to saying like Civic Type R, but even
Oh,
those
that's
are
still
more
expensive, like
expensive.
50,
They're
60
more
grand, right?
expensive, less horsepower, and they're front wheel drive.
Yeah, in my opinion, the styling just not in the same category. I'm not
Dude,
a
it looks like
huge
the
fan.
the Type R looks like a high schooler's wet dream. I'd have loved it when I was 17.
Yeah, I would have loved that too. The big wing and
Yeah,
the side vents, kind of like the STI. I'd say the STI and the Type R are kind of like in the same similar category in terms of
I
like
don't think the
appearances.
STI is anywhere near as bad.
Really, yeah, it definitely not. It's more subtle.
Yeah, the
People
STI is a little
slap
more
on the
subtle. It does look like a rally car for real,
yeah.
but it's still more subtle than the Type R. The Type R, like I said, high schooler's wet dream.
It is all-wheel drive though, so the STI is definitely in like a different bracket
Oh yeah, totally
than the
different.
Type R.
Yeah, same thing. And even if you wanted to say, well, the STI is a competitor to this, and the STI is more expensive, this still beats it.
Yeah, I guess you bring up a lot of good points. I'll give you that. Like the style, okay, the price sounds good. 3-liter V6 twin turbo, really good. 400 horsepower, supposedly very good, very good. Very, like Nissan does wonders. Like I think Nissan did a really good job with the Q60, especially like the
Mhm.
red line. Oh man. But like everything before, like I feel like that generation, low quality. Like the 370Z, everything was outdated. That's what I'm afraid of with the new 400Z. Is they're gonna put out like outdated tech in it?
Um, I mean, Nissan's always been a little bit behind the curve as far as like the tech goes.
They
Uh,
don't have money.
it's not their focus.
Yeah.
I would say Nissan's always been focused on like providing something that people want to drive at a
Mm,
reasonable price,
yeah.
barring the GTR. And even then, if you want to like incorporate the GTR beats supercars that are like 4 times the price of it. So
Yeah.
even in that aspect, there's something to be had there.
Very
But
affordable too, I think, for like what you get.
for the performance you get, yeah,
Yeah.
it's I don't like them. I don't like the way they look. I
You
think
don't like the
it's
GTR? Wow.
yeah, I
A little
kind of
bit
don't.
bulky in my opinion, but like
Yeah,
still sexy. You get
they're
the
not
6 pot?
bad. You could
Yeah.
do far worse. But I'm just not a big fan of them myself. I think
What could be
I feel like
reworked?
I feel like they missed the mark in terms of Nissan always being the enthusiast's budget friend.
Mm.
Like Nissan has had a history of producing really great vehicles at a reasonable price that are very friendly to the enthusiast. I mean, the
Yeah.
original Skylines is the first thing that comes to hand. Godzilla,
That was
the
supposed to be like a
R32
very
Godzilla.
luxury car, no?
No,
What was
no, it was always performance. They built the R32 as a way to compete in the Group B circuits
yeah.
and still adhere to the gentleman's agreement, even though you could realistically do one simple tiny modification. Suddenly you're 400 horsepower, and it's no longer part of the gentleman's agreement. But all of the Japanese manufacturers were doing that,
Same
so
with the
they're no
bikes. It's
different.
crazy.
Yeah, so they're no different there, and that's always been the case. But yeah, looking back at the history, like they always had affordable, really fast sports cars that were just a fucking blast to drive.
Yeah.
And the GTR, don't get me wrong, I imagine I've never driven one, but I imagine that thing is a blast to
It's a
drive.
beast. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
driven one. It's
I
crazy.
would put no doubt in that. Nissan does not miss the mark when it comes to that.
Yeah.
But you miss the mark when it comes to like being budget friendly for the enthusiast. You built a very low budget supercar. So in terms of like getting into the supercar branch, yeah, you met
Yeah.
that mark. I don't know if that's originally what they were going for. I imagine so because it's they haven't changed anything, but they missed the mark. For all of us out there that cannot afford $100,000 sports car, you miss the mark.
I think that's what
And so
puts
this is the
different.
first time in a while now Nissan's put out like a performance vehicle and they're not missing any marks. Sure, the technology is not as nice as you would get in a Ford Taurus show, for instance,
Yeah.
but it's not supposed to be. You ain't there for the stereo.
Yeah,
You
you're
there
there to
because
drive
you got a wheel.
decent. Yeah. Does it
Like
come
look,
in manual? I think it
yeah,
comes.
6 speed and automatic. It's gonna have both.
Wow. Wow, that's
Yep.
definitely gonna be better than what is it?
Oh yeah.
I think the
Like I said,
A90 doesn't even come with a
they did
manual.
not miss the mark. They nailed it this time around. You got a budget friendly, really fast, fun to drive sports car with the options that we all want and we can
Yeah.
afford it.
It does
Not a
make a lot of
lot.
sense. Yeah, like it's the successor of like the 370Z. The 370Z I think missed the mark as like we would say. Like it had a lot of stuff like styling, manual,
I
3.7, rear wheel drive.
I said this before a couple of years about 2 or 3 years ago. I said this when I was talking to a couple of friends about it.
Mhm.
Had the 370B or 370B, 370Z or 350Z, either or both, had they been in the body of the FRS and launched as such there,
Oh, they are heavy.
would have been amazing. Would
Yeah.
have been the perfect car for that time, even naturally aspirated, not turboed. It would have been fantastic.
Yeah, because they
But
make
they were
like
a little big, kind of
250.
goofy looking, and a little heavy.
Yeah.
And that's like they came really close. I give them credit; they were a lot closer than most other people putting out cars at that price range. And
Hmm.
then with the 370Z, they got more expensive because they added all the fancy new stuff. At the time that it came out, it was all fancy new stuff, technology wise.
Yeah.
And that's they started to dip off, and I think that's where they realized it because 370 sales didn't do anywhere close to 350Z,
Yeah.
and so
They're
they
more
looked at it and
expensive,
said, "We
way
yeah,
more.
yeah." They looked at it and went, "Okay, we missed the mark. Let's go back and see how we can fix this." And then
Mm.
this glorious bastard child of some hell bent speed demon came out and said, "Hey, we're gonna
Yeah.
do this. We're gonna do it for 35K. Have fun, fuckers."
But how did they afford to do that? Because like I thought they're pretty big in the hole now. Because like their sales haven't been up for a long time. They pulled out of
I
like multiple
imagine
countries.
I imagine they're well, one, I'm betting that I mean it's Nissan, they're gonna cut some corners.
Yeah.
Uh I also think that they're probably not using the highest grade components, which is fine most
Yeah.
import, so that's nothing new.
It gives you stuff to
Um
upgrade.
and they're probably going to try and make it up on everything else that they sell. Like they've got the Titan, I think it's the Titan now that's going to be coming out with the Cummins motor in it. That's going to
Really?
sell for a pretty penny. I
The
remember
Titan's
reading
been doing
something about
real
that a
good.
while ago.
Yeah, the
Yeah, I
Titan's
remember
always been
reading
doing
something
good.
about that. I read something about that a while back that they were supposed
Hmm.
to get a Cummins version, which if they do, fuck, great.
I think a lot of people would buy that because it's the turbo diesel, which is kind of hype for a truck.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. The only turbo diesels that we've had in the US are Ford,
Ram.
GMC, and
Yeah.
Ram. That's
Yeah.
it. That's all we've ever had. We never had anybody else doing it. No import does it. You
Yeah,
could
that's
argue
true.
that some of the Euro imports do it, but it's not the same. It's not a big diesel. It's just a diesel motor.
I haven't. Well, yeah, diesel in Europe is like big
That's big.
already, but
Yeah,
like
that's big.
they're not big into big trucks. I think.
Nobody in Europe has a big ass truck.
Yeah,
It's just not a thing over there.
probably those
Well,
Top Gear guys just whipping around in their Cummins.
yeah. I mean, Hammond probably would, but the other two wouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, Hammond's always like the American stuff. Is he loves American muscle? And I don't know if you watched Grand Tour, but
No.
he, yeah, he rocked the Hellcat.
Really?
Yeah, he was
What did
rocking
the
a
other guys
Hellcat. And
drive?
was it a Bentley and was it a Bentley and something else, some other European
Bentleys are
luxury car.
classy. Oh my
Oh no,
god.
no, don't get me wrong. Bentleys are nice.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would never own one,
You
but
wouldn't own a
I'll
Bentley.
no, but I'll stare the shit out of one.
Wait, why would you never own a Bentley?
Not my type of car.
Really? It's very
Yeah,
subtle.
it's just big. It's
Yeah.
massive. You're driving a boat. Sure, it's got a ton of power and it's like as classy as all get out, but I'm not a classy dude like that. Like that's
Oh.
like I would look out of place driving one of those. Like if
Yeah.
somebody saw me driving a Bentley, I'd be like, what the is that guy doing?
Yeah, yeah, like he looks like he belongs in a Honda Civic Type R. I'm just
Me
kidding.
and
I'm
you
just
gonna have
gonna.
yeah, me and you gonna have some words after this.
I'm just
I'm just fighting words, buddy.
no,
No,
no. Well, you do drive a big truck, but that's like practical. That's
yeah, I
practical.
drive that truck like once every 3 months.
Yeah.
I drive a Corolla around town, and then I have a Sylvia, which I barely fit in. Like,
Do you really?
let's be real.
Why don't you
Yeah, no,
drive it every day, like daily?
the Sylvia?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, it's uncomfortable.
It's got bucket seats now.
It's got a racing seat for the driver's seat, and that racing seat was built for somebody your size, not my size.
Oh, Japanese
Yeah,
people. Yeah.
yeah, it was built for like a 5'4" Asian dude, not
Oh
a
shit, that's
six
me.
foot one. Yeah, not a 6'1", 240 pound American guy. Like
Yeah.
I that seat like bends a little bit when I sit in it.